it's like it's not there's not many of us out there. People who work and not just work, but like
5'11" males.
no, talk about people who grind out marketing in different aspects.
Yeah.
Like I've never you're the I mean I've seen email guys on Twitter and I've seen some stuff on YouTube. Of course, any email marketing is a huge part of any business, any good business. If you're going to do marketing, you got to do email marketing. But I didn't know, especially like when I first got introduced to Shopify at Country Life, that Klaviyo. First off, I didn't know there was software that cost $1,000 a month just to email people,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And but yeah, no, it's like, oh, there's like operators for the software too. I had no clue it goes that granular. Like, with Go High Level or with like HubSpot or Salesforce, it's one of those like jack of all trades where you can do everything with it. You can email, text, websites, blah blah blah, right? But when you're really just using Klaviyo, you're doing is just really emailing, but it's way more dynamic when it comes to triggers and the flows
Yeah.
and the automation. So it's like it really does take almost a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very like I feel like a lot of e-commerce brands or people in the e-commerce space like don't ever get past like drop shipping and like the way they think about e-commerce. And with businesses like Country Life, for example, there's so much back end potential, which means it's a it's a whole separate funnel. And when I first got into Klaviyo, and at first it was like, oh, I'll just learn the software that sends emails out, and then there's triggers that you just connect them to. But then you really get into it, it's like everybody in every stage of the funnel needs this different message, and there's like things that have objections on that you need to handle.
Right.
And that's when it was like, this is like really like every brand I audit is just has every email is the same. And like that's why they don't generate a lot of revenue.
Interesting. Yeah, you're actually like touching someone in an emotional state. Like for instance, with our new product that we just launched, that long-term food supply,
Hmm.
uh, I didn't even consider, oh, let's make a whole abandoned cart flow just
Yeah.
for that one specific product because this is our only newest high ticket item. All the abandoned cart flows that you've set up are amazing. Like they're converting way better than the ones that they had originally had set up. And so we're actually winning sales through those abandoned cart emails. So it's like, okay, well, let's make this one more specific and tailored to the product and speak, because it has more value. It's a $2,000 item, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's really neat how you can actually touch people at different parts of the sales process or the sales cycle, if you would, or funnel as you're going through to getting them to check out, and then recheck out. Like I'll still never get over the fact of that one email with the wrong blog,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
The
then
pudding, banana
and
pudding.
and then we resent out another wrong email and double triggered, and they bought more off the second one
Yeah.
than the first one.
Yeah.
I was just like, wait a second.
Yeah. And the thing that Klaviyo is doing really well, because there's so many things that like people talk about with Klaviyo, like how they do their pricing now. Like you guys are grandfathered into the old pricing, but now they pay like right now you guys pay for the amount of people we send to. For example, you might have a list of 100,000, but if our campaigns are going out to 50,000 recipients, the old pricing model, we're paying for 50,000. We're not paying for 100,000. The new pricing, there's no way to pay for less. So you pay for every active profile. So in
Mm.
theory, if you guys started today with Klaviyo, you'd have like double or triple the bill, which is crazy to think about.
It's already $1,000 a month.
Yeah. So I just talked to a brand that had 400,000 emails,
Oh
and they
no.
were prepared to spend $5,500 a month just on Klaviyo alone, just because you're getting charged for active profiles. But one thing that Klaviyo is doing really well, and something we're trying to learn more about as an agency, is how to utilize the CDP, I think is what it's called. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. It's like their customer database
Mm.
that allows you to just pull a lot more. data from your actual email recipients, which is when we can kind of do some cool things. And your list has to be pretty big for something like that. Like if it's 400,000, it might be beneficial, but like
Right.
250,000 below, it's, your bread and butter is going to be what gets you that benefit. But they do
Hmm.
some crazy things. I'll see if I can pull it up here.
Yeah, I mean, 400,000 emails, you get lost in the sauce. You really need to know.
Yeah, that's when like segments actually matter there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up and show you.
I can't imagine Nike's email list.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
you
a they have an email division, and
yeah,
it's like you are in charge of this segment of people on our email list. Like you are in charge of people who purchase shoes and they're
right.
running shoes.
Right, just running shoes.
Just running shoes.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I didn't think about it, but Country Life is actually a challenger brand. What we're trying to do is really disrupting a market of like, of course, Amazon really changed the way that people shopped online, but
Yeah.
people people are coming on our website and buying food sight unseen and trusting us to send it to their homes, because of
Yeah.
our track record, the credibility, all those reviews. And so it's like it's amazing to know what a brand can do because there's no way you just go and order food from a stranger, no matter if they say it's organic or not. So it's pretty amazing to know that where I'm in a business that is actually helping people on so many fronts. There's like the health aspect of giving people food that's really good for them. There's like referrals that people can give and generate money. Like so, there's this one of our newest top referrals is this guy in China. His first payouts is 500 something dollars. I have no idea how this guy is referring. He's already referred like 50 plus people to us.
Really?
Yeah, using Google and YouTube or something. This Chinese guy, we just paid him $500. So imagine what that's going to translate to in yen.
He's based in China?
Yeah, yeah. I
I
can't.
wonder,
I told him I'm not going to mail you anything, but we'll pay you the payouts.
do you know what his website is, or where is he getting
I
that
have
traffic from?
we've tried to understand it and we don't. We've actually looked into it. And we don't. Maybe one day you and I can do a deep dive because it's like I don't understand it. But there's that aspect, and then yeah, just the fact that we're teaching people really how to like cook better, eat better, live better. So it feels good to be at a company where you're actually giving back in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you were pulling up there, we're gonna show.
Yeah, let me pull that up. No, but one of the things I want to touch on there real fast is I think you guys have like so many brands don't exist on the internet. Like they have a store and that's it. Like you guys have so much pre-existing content. Now, granted, you guys have been in business since 1968.
Correct.
Yeah, so
1960, 60.
1960. So quite a bit of context there in years, decades.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Yeah.
but you guys have so much content on the website and on the like. There's so many blogs and there's so many ways people can find you. And like when someone searches out like natural organic foods to buy online, it's really hard to compete with a brand that's been in business for over 50 years, 60 years, 40, yeah, 60 years. Because you guys have so much credibility with that.
Yeah. I mean, no one's died eating our stuff.
Yeah,
And we can say that proudly.
there you go. There you
In
go.
fact, it's quite the opposite. We have customers who've been ordering us for over 40 years. Lots of them.
Mm,
They they
yeah.
they they look in the reviews. They post it proudly. Like I've been ordering
Yeah.
for Country Life for 40 years. I'm like, what? That's wild. The LTV on that is just off the charts.
It really is. It really is. And that, that's another thing that most brands don't think about. I talk to a lot of brands that there's two red flags when we talk to a brand that are like the biggest ones. And they're like, hey, we want an LTV increase. And it's like, cool. What kind of products do you guys sell? Oh, we sell wallets. And I'm like, how many wallets do you guys have? Like, I have one. And I've had this one for maybe 3, 4, 5 years.
Right?
And they don't sell anything else. And so there's just your customer LTV is like hope someone
One.
steals their wallet. And like this doesn't work that way. So your retention has to be baked into your business model, like your products that you sell. And so a lot of email marketers, and we're all guilty of this. We talk about retention broadly because we're trying to post some valuable stuff, but it's very brand specific. There's a lot of brands that email is not a retention play. It's very much an acquisition play on pre-purchase flows, those abandonment flows. There's no use of having a vast post-purchase flow if you're not a retention style brand. And so some of those brands, like we might just need to send, 1 to 2 emails a week because not a lot of repeat buyers are coming in. Campaigns are notoriously like 80% repeat buyers. And then just focus all of our time on the pop-up and the abandonment flows and the welcome flow. And you guys have the potential. Like the reason we can send 2 emails a week instead of a brand that can send that we should send 4 or 5 is because people like the people that are buying from these campaigns have already bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And so we don't need to mail them 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, we could test it right, but like there's other brands that we have that like we need to email 4 or 5 times a week because we're just
Mercy.
hoping the person buys one time.
Right, man. No, I mean, and I remember seeing that 50% open rate. It was going like, oh, this is amazing. Dude, some of the campaigns are in the 60% open rate. I saw one that was a 70. I was like, what? What? You're speaking the language, man. You're
Yeah.
talking to him.
Yeah. So let me show you this because this is eventually going to be something really helpful for you guys as we figure this out is also as you guys grow your list. So the Klaviyo customer data platform, it's kind of like if you can think about it as like a CRM, but it kind of gives you this interesting data based on some like segments that you can build. So it's really focused on kind of trying to predict what someone's going to buy or when someone's going to buy,
Mm,
and it'll show you like this is a RFM champion segment, and their placed orders are this, and we can kind of see what like when they place their order, when they place that second order, and kind of those first to second purchase funnels. You kind of build some more specific things if you have enough email subscribers. Um, and some things like, for example, um, let's look at some of these. So RFM analysis, model future customer behavior and create smarter segments by scoring and grouping customers based on their purchase behavior. So you can like
oh, that's
score
interesting. So,
score people based on how likely they are to purchase 3 times or more.
I can think already our customer base would be broken up into because most of our people are buying quarterly, right? I think
Yeah.
that's the majority. They're buying
That's why
once
we see
every,
the waves in campaign revenue.
yeah, it's definitely like a 3 to 4 month for majority. But then we have businesses that are coming in on a month-to-month basis with much bigger orders, and that's the ones I'm trying to really tap into more of
Yeah.
is talking to the business clients, which we're not. You can't really market and advertise to those. It really is just boots on the ground, old school. I'm literally starting to mail stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so and then we have the one-offs, and that's the ones that really hits me in that like the majority of really our database are just one-time buyers.
Yeah.
And I've been putting them through different email systems. I've tried Instantly. I've used my own high level, or not my own, but I've used high level, and I've used uh, yeah, even we're at the point where we're actually cold calling some of our old customers just to touch base again and be like, hey, it's been a while, things of our business has changed because the business really took a turn about 3, 4 years ago and
Yeah.
actually lost about 60% of the customer base, about 50, 60% of the customer base, they lost,
Really?
they shrank. Yeah, it was
What
about 10
happened
million
there?
business changes, business decisions. The business was losing a lot of money. Even though it was making a lot of money, so it was like a minimum order of 400 to get their own trucks to run out. And so they
Mm,
switched it by partnering with FedEx and make it now it's free shipping at 99, which is a much better offer.
yeah.
But the prices went up a little too fast. Like if you boil a frog, you're not supposed to just turn the water up because the frog will jump out.
Yeah.
You're supposed to turn the water up slowly, and then the frog will just. And
Boil.
they kind of turned the water up too fast, and a lot of customers got out. And then what happened is the market caught up to the prices, and
Yeah.
so now we're competitive. Really, we're not high end or higher. Actually, I think our prices are very low,
Yeah.
reasonable, and especially our sales section. Sometimes I talk to Mitchell and I'm like, dude, can we really sell it at that price? But yeah, so that was a turn, and so we're trying to recoup back a lot of customers, especially in the South, because they used to have truck runs that would go into Arkansas and into Tennessee, and so a lot of those customers they haven't heard yet. It's like, oh, we can still get it delivered right to our house, because there was a lot of like group buying, co-ops, people at churches, people at schools would, make huge orders together, because it was, like I said, a minimum of 400, but the more you bought, the more you saved. Like, for instance, one of the coolest things I love doing is I sold this person 655 or 50 pound 5 gallon barrels. They're pretty much 5 gallon pails of maple syrup. They're like $400 each. Yeah, it's for a business. She puts
Okay.
them in.
Okay. I was like, why does someone need so much maple syrup?
They put them in old whiskey barrels and age it,
Okay.
and then sell it. Yeah, it has a really
Really?
robust flavor. Yeah, it doesn't have any alcohol, but it just gets that old whiskey barrel flavor. And they said their customers are addicted to it. They love it. So
Wow.
yeah, they spent
We
two
need
grand on it.
we need some country life barrels. What's going on?
So, but here's the neat thing. So it was 2,000 something dollars. As soon as she reached 2,000, the 20% discount kicked in. So then
Mm,
it immediately went to 1,600. So she ended up spending 1,600, getting one barrel for free, essentially,
yeah.
right? I love that. It feels so good to be able to say, hey, for businesses, you can spend over 2,000, and it's like it hits me hard when I see like a $1,700 order come in, or $1,800 order, or even like a $470 order. I'm like, dude, you spent 30 more bucks, you would have paid 450. It's like
Yeah.
you get more items for less. But communicating that has been a challenge. Like, some of the customers know that, the older customers know that, but getting that point baked in is something that even myself I'm like working on. Like, how do I really mention the features and benefits of shopping
Yeah.
at Country Life? But yeah.
Something on that point, I would say the best place to do that is where those people are buying, and those people are buying from those product pages when they're making those orders. And I would say for your guys' website, you guys have a lot of those unique selling propositions. The like in the bottom of our emails, we always do the save big on your next order.
Yeah.
$99, you get free shipping.
Yep.
$500, you get, is it 10% off on 500?
That's right.
There, these product pages are where you want to also include some of those things. Your product pages should do the selling. So like when we
Oh,
think about our email strategy,
you're preaching the gospel right now. Keep going.
when we send this traffic to the website, to your product pages or these collection pages, we're selling the click to get them there, and we're relying on those product pages to finish them off.
To convert, right?
Yes. And so like is there like I feel like you've thought about this before on some of these product pages. Is
Oh
it
no. Oh, for sure, dude. So our product page is one of the things that is that's a pretty big pain point, but it's just I know for a fact, if we worked on the product page and really invested in that, if we just got, a product page, a default template that converted just 2% higher. Oh my goodness.
what's your guys' site conversion rate right now, if you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's like a 273, 278. Some days it runs 3, but usually on average it's like a 278,
Okay.
228.
Yeah, I mean that's let me see if I can
It's not
find.
awful. It's not awful, but it could easily be a 3.5 or a 4.
I would say so. Let me show you. My buddy Jeff runs a landing page design agency called Daydream Studio. One of the things I'll have to send you his Twitter so you can follow him and see some of his content.
Yeah.
One of the things that he talks about all of the time is like what should be included in some of these product pages. And so this is a brand. We can actually go to their
Oh, yeah, I've scoped. Actually, it's funny. I've seen that. I've seen this agency. I didn't know that was your friend, but I've
yeah, yeah,
actually
Jeffrey
so
Park. Shout out Jeff.
I think I might even have it bookmarked because they have a section where you can like look at all their work, and so I like look at it to like get inspiration.
Yes, the design a day in the vault.
Yeah. Exactly, this page.
Yeah, shout out Jeff. Look at that. Small world, right? So let's click one of these products. I actually know the guys who run these emails as well.
Nice.
Um,
Oh, that's
so
pretty clean.
but this is a lot of information. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It looks like he's using super simple subscriptions. I have that same. I just installed that on our pro on our store.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know. It looks the same.
Well, the point is like the value, like this answers
It's
everything
clean.
you could think about.
Hmm.
For example, you guys, you have your typical stuff about the product, right? And this is still in the above the fold section where someone is the health benefits for free, go subscription, what are the benefits of subscription? This could
Yeah.
very easily be a section where you guys show like the tiers of like savings based on the order values.
So what I'm using gem pages right now to build custom pages as a no code builder, but there's another one called Replo.
This is what
And
Jeff uses, Replo.
exactly. And so Replo is 99 a month, which is like not unbearable. Gem pages is 27, right? And so
Well,
for what we're doing,
for an extra 2% conversion rate,
I know.
$99 is like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I just gotta. I mean, I and you get to play around with it before you pay. So I just need to go ahead and test it out and play with it, and just
Yeah.
invest the time.
And,
But
and
it's
so one of the benefits you guys have as well is something that's working really well right now for e-commerce brands, and I think you guys should think about this is pushing to a essentially a sales letter, an advertorial. And I know we've mentioned that on the last call we had, but the way this product page is set up, it's not necessarily an advertorial, but it's got plenty of information for you to dive
yep,
into.
correct.
And I thought that was a bad at first.
Yeah.
And then you get into some other stuff. This is very obviously pushing subscription because they have an app that's really awesome for your dogs
Yeah.
and how it works and all this stuff. Um,
No, it's
and
good. It's a
if
good. I
we
mean, yeah. Look at ours.
let me flash one just for learning purposes.
Oh dear, love it. We
We
sell a lot of beans. We sell a lot of black beans.
a lot of black beans, but we we could just we just need some information. We just need some
Yeah.
information. Those things that you want those kind of customers to know because they're hitting $1,700 and not getting that $400 savings. It's it's in the product pages, I think, where a
Yeah.
big ROI lays for you guys.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I agree
I'll talk to Jeff. I'm
100%.
pretty sure he's got some Replo templates and stuff like that. I'll see if I can get you some.
Yo, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Seriously.
some like product page Replo templates. We can
Yeah.
also, if we need to, like, because I'm pretty sure he designs them in Figma and then gets them into Replo. Pretty sure that's how that
Mm.
works. We have all that stuff in our Figma as far as your colors and branding and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I wouldn't mind just having a pro come in and do it. So it's like,
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
he is
yeah.
a good if he has a good price, if it's not if not won't break the bank, and Mitchell won't get Mitchell. That's the thing.
Regardless, we're gonna get you a Replo template to 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 do at least a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, to test it out. I mean, and it's not gonna hurt anything. The product page is already converting. We just make it better. It's not gonna do
Well,
worse.
I would say like 8 out of 10 CRO tests you're gonna do are worse in your control.
Yeah, we can A/B test it. I could get another piece of software and A/B test it. That would be probably a smart idea to
I
go
would I
through.
would A/B test.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, like I'm running ads right now. You're not shy about running ads.
No.
Like there's so many ad creatives that just don't beat your best performer, and you're like, dude, this is such a better ad. But like Zuckerberg's like, boss man, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah, that's why whenever I do like Facebook campaigns, I usually use like between 6 to 8 creatives at once, and some will be video, some will be static. and then I just monitor, especially the first 48 hours. I just look at how is it interacting, and that first 40 hours really just gives you everything you need to know about what's going to be good and what's not. You can tell on the first day really, but
Yeah, because
I
that like on
good.
my ads, I don't know, e-com is way different obviously than running agency ads, but like I'm testing 3 to 4 creatives, and then at the end of the first day, like Zuck's put 80% of the spend on one of these ads. And I'm like, I guess that's the one.
Interesting. Yeah. But are you using which platform are you using? Google or Meta?
Yeah, just Meta. Just Meta.
Okay, yeah, same. Well, we actually, so it's funny, there's two of us. There's our agency is running ads now, and I'm running ads. My campaign right now has a 44 ROAS. Like, I don't even know what to think. We spent like $900, and it's reported that we've made about $40,000 in sales, about 146 sales through the campaign already this month.
Okay.
So, like,
Are
this,
you showing to like how's your audience set up?
oh, so that's the hack. I'm using Shopify audiences. And so what's really nice is Shopify gives you um, like you can retarget with it for your
Yeah.
current customers, and that was a
Yeah.
really, really good, effective thing. I'm not retargeting with this. I'm actually doing what's like a lookalike audience for
Yeah. Okay.
prospecting on website visitors. So it's looking out for people who would generally like our products because it's a lookalike audience and it's
Yeah.
super effective. Plus, it's the ad creative. So I'm using a before and after picture that you want me
Yeah.
to show you? Let me show you.
Yeah. Sure.
Here, let me pull it up.
You should be able to share. Yeah, I'm not like knowledgeable enough on like e-com ads, but like for our agency, our strategy is like the creative is going to do all the targeting for us. We're literally like 18 to 55 in the US. Like you will see our ad and just trust Zuck to make my spend better. So, um, yeah. So, and you said your agency's running ads. Is that for the software kind of?
No, no. So this, I'm just running ads for Country Life.
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, with like the Facebook page kind of situation we were talking about.
yeah. Well, we got to work around. And here's what's interesting. Here's what I saw. So I was running the ads through the agency account,
Yeah,
and when I did that, it it was converting okay. It wasn't bad. Then I started running. Then I started displaying it through this new page that we made called Country Life Foods, and the ROAS just took off because see, it said it was like Iconic System is running this is the one, but it's a commercial about country life, and everything is
yeah,
country life. And so people were still buying from it because I imagine they're just thinking, okay, maybe that's just the agency Country Life is paying to run this ad for them or something. Is
yeah,
what I'm thinking why people are buying from it. But regardless, once I switched it to where it said country life and it was the ad about country life, dude, that just it makes I didn't think it would have that big of a difference. But see, look at this.
yeah,
928 with 42,000. Like that is
yeah.
just that's nasty.
That's a nice ROAS there.
That's just off the chart. And then this is the campaign they just started. They just launched this literally yesterday. 19 with the purchase conversion of already 500. Like and this is for pushing our long-term food supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they might catch it. They might beat me. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Wait,
But
so is someone else running that top ad?
yeah, so ADM just started this one. This is the ADM's campaign.
Is that
So
an
this
agency?
yeah, that's the agency that they do our they manage our Google.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so this is I show it to you here.
So who else is on your one of the questions I wanted to ask today was like how you guys are structured, like not as like LLC type shit, but um like who's like how many employees do you guys have? How many agencies? Is there a marketing agency?
Oh, dude, it's
Like because I need to get connected with the other side of the marketing. Like I think it's very important. I didn't
that's
know that you guys had. Well, I know you're that one, but like, who's running the Google ads? I want to talk to them too.
oh yeah. Well, we can talk about that. I mean, I do Google Ads too, but this is the one that is just hitting
Yeah.
hitting it out of the park, bro. Just hitting it out of the park. And
So like that, the pain point there is like
exactly.
your customers like legit just don't want to go to Walmart.
Well, they live too far.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
live in
I
the
do
middle of
remember
the
you
our
FaceTime me on that road. I remember that road.
yes, dude. Our customers live in the middle of the middle of the woods,
Yeah, going to
in the middle of the
town.
prairie. It's long drive, bro. So if
Okay.
we can do that for them, of course, of course. And then the other one that's doing really well, which is really interesting to me, is this one here, which is this video, right? And it's a video that
I love this video.
yeah. It's funny. It's a funny video. But the reason why I believe it's converting at the rate that it's converting at is because you get the full scope of the business in it. You see the car coming in, the truck, the van coming in. You see the store. You see the different departments. You see like the warehouse and the forklifts. So I think that this video really works well because even though it's humor that's getting people in and it's funny, this also displaying the full capability of the business and what we're
Yeah.
actually about. So I think that this one I didn't film this obviously. This was done way before I got there, but
Yeah.
this is a 10 for 10 ad right here. Whoever the team that filmed this, like 10 for 10 job.
I
Because
love this video.
it,
It's you cannot compete with the everybody else is the 3PL. They're shipping from China. Not that anyone's shipping from China. Like there's several places out there that are doing really awesome 3PLs, right? But like
yeah.
you don't want to buy food from there. And so like how many other food companies that are also non-GMO and organic and also ship to your house with no like real order minimums? How many people have 1,200 acres and in that kind of like warehouse and all that stuff? It's very hard to compete with that.
No, for sure. For sure. The only thing that's stopping us is literally just word of mouth. Like we have market fit, we have everything done in the sense of a business. It's literally just telling more people we exist.
I agree. I think like I'll tell you an example. Like I've always thought that was your guys' thing. It's like eyeballs. Like if you doubled site traffic,
Yeah, I
you know what I mean?
know.
We have a client that just popped off on TikTok. One, they just shipped a bag at they sell luxury handbag brand. It's a luxury handbag brand.
Nice.
They didn't pay this influencer. They just shipped her a product for free. Banger, banger video. It's like tell me your bag's designed by a woman without telling me your bag's designed by a woman.
Oh
And
no.
the angle is just like why do we have a purse that's designed by a man who doesn't carry a purse? And like it's just a great video showing the bag and stuff. It
Yeah.
took her from 30,000 a month in total revenue to 300,000 a month in total revenue in
Oh.
in like 33 days.
Oh.
And
That's
it's
like
been and it's
life-changing
been
money, dude.
30 days since then and it's maintaining traffic.
That is off the charts.
It's been great. And it's just eyeballs. And so back to like way earlier when I talked about two
I'm
red
gonna
flags.
start mailing so many people food.
The second red flag that I've seen is when brands come to us and say, I want email marketing to be a bigger channel for us. I'm like, cool. Like, what are your thoughts? Or like, why is that? It's like, well, I don't want to spend as much as I am on ads. And I'm like, pause. Email's only great if you're getting traffic to your site. Like if your list starts to die out 6 to 12 months, we are no longer getting results because you don't have any new customers coming in.
Right.
This like the last 14 campaigns we've sent for this brand have generated $1,000+ which if you in theory that doesn't sound like too crazy, but if you look at the last 14 before the TikTok blew up, we had been mailing that list for 6 to 12 months and it hasn't grown all that much because they don't get a lot of site traffic or at least they didn't. And we would go 8 campaigns without getting one sale because we're just hitting the same people over and over again.
Right.
And so
At least they're
traffic,
not
new people,
unsubscribing.
well, I mean, if they did, it wouldn't matter because they're not buying anyway.
Right, right. That's
You know,
probably beautiful emails I can say.
my buddy has a client and she goes, there's three things someone could do. They could subscribe or unsubscribe, buy or die. Like
Mm,
they either just die and they're off the list anyway. They
mm,
subscribe and they stay and buy, or they just unsubscribe and we don't want to talk to them anyway. But
right.
the power of attention there is really what I'm trying to get at.
No, for
And
sure.
it's just like, how do you get that profitably? Have I ever recommended this book to you called The Moat?
No,
I'm gonna send
not
you a
this one.
link. I'll send you a link in Slack.
Perfect.
The guy who wrote it is his name is Chris Orzowski, I think is how you say it. You've probably seen him on Twitter. Uh, he's a bald guy, kind of hard to miss on Twitter. Um, but his book called The Moat is about like scaling an e-commerce brand that can survive 100 years plus.
Mm,
And a big thing he talks about is front end offers and back end offers, and how these brands that have been around 100 years, and even the brands that haven't been around but have scaled really hard, for example, a proactive skincare or an Athletic Greens. When you go to Athletic Greens site, how often have you visited their site? Because that's like not
no,
necessarily a competitor, really.
no.
I they are. I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
They are a prime example of pushing a front end offer, getting you to buy the one time, and really focusing on just that first. So the front end back end offer is like your goal on the front end is to acquire future cash flow as a brand with LTV. If you broke even on the first customer, but you knew they one out of three customers bought 12 times, it's like you're acquiring future cash flow for free
Oh
or
yeah.
at break even.
Oh yeah. Oh, and so this is one of the things why we were really wanting to like get the Country Life Plus developed. But I'll dive into that after. If unless
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want,
yeah.
yeah, look at this.
So very like green drink. And honestly, this product's not that good for you. It's just the marketing is beyond it.
Good.
We just got a new client. Their product is kind of sort of similar. It's like a blue green algae. They've been in business 30 years. They're the only company in the world that sources this kind of blue green algae from a lake, Klamath Lake in Oregon or Washington.
Wow.
But they're not nearly as big. They're like 1/100th of the size because Athletic Greens marketing is so good. And they can, I don't know if they're profitable on the front end or not, but this is a brand that all they're pushing, and their emails are so good. We take a lot of inspiration from them, by the way.
Mm.
Um, Everything is just pushing AG1, one product, all
Yep.
this information about it. Buy AG1. Obviously, I want to get you on a subscription.
Right.
Let's just say we go pouch and try it once. But look at the difference there. If I'm on a single subscription, bundle, bundle,
Yeah.
or just your regular one.
Yeah.
And and
And
once
they're
you're
doing
here,
it right there as you're buying it, and as you already went. Yeah, this is
and
a beautiful
but there's
store.
nowhere else to go.
There's a beautiful store.
There's nowhere else to go. And so how do they how do they make more money? Well, on the back end, they
We're gonna
have
have to do Country Life Plus like this.
they have other products. Exactly. They have other products. And so you just can't really like actually they I think they only have one product per se, but like you get bundles. And so their
Yeah, which
front
is
end
smart,
offer,
and it's a subscription. So that's one of the things that when you have a subscription model, you know automatically, as you said, you're going to get 7 to 10 times per that one person. So you can spend $70 to acquire that one customer. Right now, one of the things that I have a hard time proving is because of our database is so big. Um, and it's so skewed because we have business clients in there at the same time
yeah,
as regular clients. But do we have customers that, like I said, have been around for 40 years? But then we have so many that's just a one and ever,
yeah,
right? And so it's like trying to find if I could really get that number down. I've tried a few different softwares. I've tried like Amp or Lifetimely by
yeah.
Amplitude, which I thought that was a pretty good piece of software. We had another
You,
one that go ahead.
did you play with Triple Whale yet? I think that
It's too much, dude. It costs too much money. It's
but
like
the free
eight
plan, the free
grand.
plan.
Is there a free plan? I need to check that out. I need
Let
to
me
look
send
at
it to
that.
you again.
I no, because I looked at it and I started sweating. I was like, this is like $9,000. Like what? I thought High Rose was bad. This is nuts.
Yeah, let me double. I'm pretty sure there's a free plan.
I mean, maybe I didn't look deep enough. It was like 9 grand. Sheesh. Like I'm trying to
Two
save the
users,
business money.
benchmarks, 12-month look back, core ad channels.
Okay, try for free. Well, I'll do that. I'll do that right after we get off this.
Yeah, check it out because,
Could help with attribution.
well, also, or North Beam is another one.
They had North Beam at first,
Okay,
and
okay.
our North Beam pixel, I think we just removed the pixel from the site. Actually, we were like, why is this in here still? Yeah,
The,
that's
I mean, this,
beautiful.
yeah, and there's a way to get some good LTV data out of there.
Well, what's interesting is I'm using Shopify QL notebooks, which is really nice. I just haven't spent a ton of time educating myself on the queries, but the
Yeah.
QL notebooks is really really cool. Plus, I haven't told you this yet, but I have a friend named Joel Rivera, and Joel and I are starting a development agency, if you would. So like I'm doing another agency,
You got
except
a lot.
this
You got your hands on a lot of pots, my man.
no, but this one is different. This one because he's a senior engineer. He actually was on the team that developed IBM Watson. And
Mm.
so he's like, yeah, he's about it. And so we want to start making some pretty much come into the Shopify space as developers that like growth developers, if it makes sense. So be able to program custom apps, custom builds, and I mean literally anything you need done, one project at a time would be the way that we do it. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's something that kind of working on and getting better
Yeah.
at coding into the dev world.
Let
There's
me show you
actually
this.
there's actually a hackathon going on right now with Gadget
Really?
where yeah, it's like $5,000 in prizes, and so we're actually going to enter into this hackathon and build an app for it.
That's sick. That's sick. Let me show you this if I can log in. It'll take me a second to log in, but those screenshots from our reporting tool, like that I've
Hmm.
showed you before, that's just Microsoft BI pulling data from Klaviyo. My buddy Max Grant and
What?
my buddy Max
Microsoft.
Grant and his co-founder COO Jared, he codes, so they're just building these custom dashboards, and like big agencies like Nick Shackelford, if you know who Nick Shack is, uh, really, you know who Nick Shackelford is? You know Jace Diamond.
So my knowledge base is probably it's like I know probably different pool. I do like
Okay,
I'm like Seth Golden. I'm like Rory
okay.
Sutherland.
Well, so Nick Shack runs structured agency with Chase Diamond, and that's Chase Diamond. You know who Chase Diamond is? Big on LinkedIn, like biggest guy on LinkedIn. You have to look
Interesting.
him up. Let me
Yeah.
send you some profiles. I won't even talk about it because we gotta get you educated on them. Here's here's one person I do want you to look up today is Taylor Holiday. I'll send you. He runs an agency called Common Thread Collective, the largest e-commerce growth partner agency.
Interesting.
But this guy is, I think you'd like him because he's so analytical. Um, and the way, I mean, they deal with so much data, so much data. If you go to Common Thread Collective, you can kind of see some of their stuff. One of the
Hmm.
things that I think would be beneficial for you guys is where are we at here? They have some stuff here. Where is it at? Some like trainings kind of thing.
I see it. Their trainings.
Yeah. There it is. They're really focused on like actually becoming profitable and scale. And they have some things where like you get a growth roadmap type stuff. Look at these are the brands that they work with.
Yeah, Liquid Death. Good night.
Big brands, but very, very big on data. And they actually run a couple things where they have like 5,000 or so like e-commerce brands that send them data. And then they run these like consensuses on like this is where the state of the e-commerce market is based on like consumer data from 5,000 plus brands.
Right.
Here's where ad spend is. Here's how Meta's been performing compared to last month, compared to last year.
Oh,
And
nice.
so like
Those,
I'll
yeah, those reports, those are
yes,
good.
yes. So
I've
I'll send you some
actually
of his stuff.
I've actually thought about for our business customers putting together like quarterly reports of market trends for food sales and like mailing that out to them. Obviously, we don't need to mail our business customers, email them all the time and annoy them. But I thought if I could give them an email that was valuable, that they'd look for and actually get something from, like, oh, maybe these are the best products to stock in my store this year, or these are the way that customers are shopping, or these are the way that things are, this are like customers are like for right now, seed oils is like it wasn't a big
Yeah,
thing a few years ago, but now it's like huge. Everyone's like anti seed oils, and
yeah,
it's like which, yeah. So, but just things like that, I think it would be a valuable newsletter or something to work on. But it's like for me to do that as I'm already, like so when I came here, I was really took on that title of like director of sales, thinking I'd be doing a lot of that. But director of sales didn't really represent what I do. So head of growth is way more fitting because
yep.
like you see, I'm in like the Facebook. I'm also recording videos or short videos. On Sunday, I'm literally going to a holistic health fair, setting up table, be slinging, trail mix over the
Beans.
counter.
Trail
Yeah. No, I'm bringing trail mix and yeast flakes, bro. Um, no, and some of our other products are spices and different things like that, vegan cheese. But then I'm also like calling people. I'm also installing apps and doing development into the apps, into actual Shopify, like on the front facing side of the store. I'm running workflows or building stuff. I'm meeting with you and we're coming up with strategies of how we can grow the email list. And so it's like, yeah, head of growth just really does it compensates it a whole lot better because
Yeah,
there's just so many pots, as you said, that my hands are in. It's like,
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. But I mean, honestly, that's where the money should be spent. I mean, like I think there used to be a thing, um, like an old business saying. It was like if you're not, I don't know what it was. My old boomer mentor used to tell me, he's like, if you're not bouncing checks almost because you're spending so much money on marketing, you maybe not doing it right. Not to that extent, but
that's funny. Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean we're shelling it out. Go ahead.
like, for sure, for sure. He was the guy. He started like a lawn care business one time, like $50. So he like rented a lawnmower and he'd go mow houses and he'd put up like 700 flyers and he knew every 700 flyers he'd get one job. And so he'd have people put out flyers and he knew how many calls he'd get. And if they didn't get enough calls, he'd like, who didn't put out their flyers today? But he got like 5, 10 jobs and he would go around with a push mower and he'd be like, hey, sorry guys, like my riding lawnmower's in the shop today. He didn't have a riding lawnmower.
No, I know,
And,
yeah.
and then he'd write a check for the riding lawnmower now that he's got a little bit of money and do all these things, but he would race a check by Friday type thing. Very old school guy.
Dude,
Not not
you're talking
legal,
about
not what you're supposed to do.
he would rent the mower. That is off the chains, dude. So
And
he
then
didn't even have the expense or the overhead. That's
no,
smart.
no, he would only spend the money on the flyers because he'd get the appointments there. He
Of course,
he
it's the
he
marketing.
hired 10 people that he'd have to pay by next Friday, and he just hope that he'd hope he got enough appointments in by next Friday to pay these guys. So
This guy is a
he always talks to me about risk tolerance, and I'm like, I'm not quite that risk averse, but
Yeah. Well, so back in Tennessee, the best thing I ever did, one of the best, it was a gimmick or whatever, but I found off the side of the road close to my house where the state, I guess, had just mowed up or mulched up a ton of trees and had been decomposing for years. And so that decomposing wood chip turns into like the best compost you can ever
yeah,
plant in. And it has huge worms in it. So I would literally be digging it and use it for myself. But I thought to myself, I can probably sell this $150 a pop for a full
yeah.
truck. So I would post it on Facebook with the worms dangling and like yeah, dude. And I was selling all the only thing it took me was my shovel and time of loading it up. I drive it to their house, unload it, get the $150 and go. I even did one for 300 one time and put my trailer. I attached my trailer to it and told them it's a trailer and my truck, $300. Dude, I was like, this
Dude.
is I was selling dirt I
Can you
found for
imagine
free
you,
on the
you
side
get
of the
two
road.
guys to take truckloads for you and you just pop a couple Facebook ads up?
See,
They're like a 30-mile radius.
yeah. The problem with that was limited supply. And actually my
Yeah,
parents told me
yeah.
I told them where it was and they told me they went back there and it's all gone. Someone found it and
Oh
cleaned it out.
no,
Yeah.
someone saw your Facebook post. They're like, dude, we're stealing your worms.
Cleaned it out. Yeah,
Let me
but that
let me show
was
you this. Let me show you this video from Taylor Holiday so you can kind of hear how he talks about some of this
okay.
data.
Yeah, perfect.
Let's do. Let me know if you can hear this in a second. How about? Can you hear that?
CTC service for our
Yeah.
e-commerce brands, unique and differentiated. Let me take you through it. First, it begins with our strategist, Garrett, laying the stage for where a brand is at relative to a huge sale moment they have upcoming.
Actually, that's not a good one. Let's go to a different one.
Why was Black Friday called Black Friday?
No.
Understanding exactly what a business values allows us to bring a level of customization to each of their ad campaigns. What's the biggest barrier to making those cuts? Now, I can imagine one of them is psychologically having to lay people off. But yes, is that the biggest?
Well, I want to find one about
He's
data.
got
Here
a
we
he's
go.
got a big company. He's laying people off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he has to work with brands that need to lay people off. So
Oh,
here you go. Here you go.
Incrementality is the hot new topic in our industry. This graph right here is going to explain in 60 seconds. First, if you want to understand incremental impact, we need to look at advertising on a spectrum that has an x-axis of your optimization setting and a y-axis of your exclusion. These are the two dimensions that determine how incremental your ad spend is. When I talk about optimization setting, I mean what you choose in a platform like Meta for your ads to optimize against. This is the most important data point because it determines what Meta is going to use as the revenue that they see as being impactful to your goal. And it runs a spectrum from 1-day click, which is like the most conservative view, to something like 28-day click, 28-day view, which is what like Criteo used to run display marketing back in the day. Now, on the y-axis, I want you to imagine the exclusions that you use. People might refer to this as funnel stage, but I prefer a technical definition that actually allows me to determine who I'm trying to advertise to. So think about this as running from no exclusions, meaning you don't exclude any potential people from your ads, to like the most conservative view of exclusions, which would be things like excluding existing customers, all website visitors, and even anybody who's engaged with your ads. Now, as a general rule, your ads are going to become more relatively incremental as you move up into the right. What do I mean by relatively incremental? What I mean is the actual incremental revenue relative to the platform reported number on the same attribution setting. So if you look in Meta and you're looking at a 7-day click, 1-day view, how incremental is that reported revenue relative to what you would see in like a geo holdout study? So simply stated, the tighter the attribution setting and the more strict your exclusions, the more the relative incremental impact is going to be positive. So that's why things like branded PMAX or display remarketing, which uses a 28-day click, 28-day view window and has
yes.
no exclusions, is going to be the least incremental ad product imaginable. It's also why something like branded PMAX, which doesn't exclude anything,
Interesting.
and also uses the default 30-day click, 3-day engaged view,
Because we're
1-day
using
view
PMAX, and that's
setting.
I mean we're spending
Clearly,
30,000
also
on it,
going to be constantly
but it's
Yeah.
impossible to scale.
It's also why talking about channels as you
Yeah.
It's
So
funny he says that because like when I'm actually cutting back the spend from 500 to 300, because well we just need to cut back on some costs at the moment. But just in general, I know once we drop that down, the ROAS is going to go up. And so it's one of those things where it's like 500 was doing fairly well for us. I mean we're generating probably like I don't 100 or 100 plus a week through it. I don't exactly remember exactly off the top of my head how many we usually get, but it converts enough to where we're usually at like a 4 ROAS,
yeah.
5 ROAS, and so but yeah, it's about 30,000 a month we're spending there, and I'd love to spend 300,000 a month. I'd love to, but it's just we can't, and we've seen every time we try to bring it up. Even on Facebook, I did that with the ad creatives I showed you. I did 50. I'm running it right now at 50 just to be conservative, but Facebook itself bumped it automatically up to 150 because of I have it so automated suggestions can happen. And so it said that's going to be a better spend, and it really did start converting better. And then I was like, okay, cool. Well, if it's doing well, let me bump it to 300. And I'm like, I should have just let Facebook, I should have just left it alone because then the ROAS started just tanking. So I put it
Yeah.
back down to 150. Like Facebook, Zuckerberg knows better than I do.
Yeah.
But Yeah, he's right about that. Especially on Facebook, we're running like as he said, 7-day click. No, 7-day view, 1-day click. Is how I run those. But that's interesting. I might play with that for some other campaigns in the future.
Yeah, dude. All of his stuff, it's like a mad scientist when I hear him talk. It's like
I
very high
know.
level. Like if you've never seen the inside of an ads manager before, or like even the financials of an e-commerce brand, it's very hard to understand what the hell he's talking about. And he talks from a point of sitting at a table with 5,000 brand data points that all do like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So there's so much genuine data that he talks about. It's actually absurd. I sent you a link to his podcast,
Yeah, perfect.
and like here's one more.
Create Black Friday, not just once a year, but multiple times. Here's why revenue peak creation might. What if you could create Black Friday, not just once a year, but multiple times? Here's why revenue peak creation might be the key to unlocking growth in your e-commerce business. So let's talk about this as an example of where now marketers, we begin to think about how to use these levers relative to opportunity. One of the reasons we talk about 4-quarter accounting is it gives us a rhythm.
Yep.
Think about timing supply. When we know the pace of our revenue and when we can create moments to drive increased demand, and can plot that a year ahead.
Speaking my language. You're speaking my language.
Process that is synced to the marketing calendar.
Dude.
You ever listen to Sean and Connor or Reg talk about this? They're big believers in 4-quarter accounting. They do it in an awesome way. And what it allows you to do is build a rhythm to your business.
So yeah, bro.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So it's interesting that he mentions that. So a month or two ago, no, it was a month ago, I saw a Facebook ad for a Shopify meetup in Grand Rapids. I was like, I don't care, shut up, take my money, I'm going. It was free. So I was even like more pumped about it. Yeah, Shopify meetup in Grand Rapids by a guy named Scott Cunningham. Have you heard about Scott Cunningham before?
I have not.
So Scott Cunningham is from Canada and he rubs shoulders with the Shopify people. He's got an agency, Merchant Mastery, and I forgot his other agency that he's done. Merchant Mastery is his like pre-offer, and then he's got like a bigger agency that really does management. Like I was actually considering using them to manage the Facebook and Google ads. I anyway, so but we didn't end up doing it, but I still read his emails and stuff. But he at that Shopify meetup, one thing that he spoke about was having quarterly sales and how that makes such a huge impact on a business. And so I felt that was one of the most educational things I ever did. Shout out to Scott Cunningham and Merchant Mastery. Those guys are really good about what they do. But yeah, he showed us it's like, because if you look at our sales, we could see it. It's like graphically just going up, right? But he says if you do one each quarter, a big sale or a big thing each quarter, then you'll see this spike, and then it'll go up with a spike, and then it'll go up with a spike. So as it goes throughout the year, you'll have these 4 major spikes, which bring tons of revenue by the end of the year. And so learning that halfway through the year, by the end of the year, I'm like, oh, so now I'm like, okay, building up with you for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where I'm like, okay, let's really take advantage of that. And we could probably even do like a Thanksgiving thing too, and a Christmas thing, because why not?
Yeah, we gotta have our Black Friday call. Mitchell's gotta book that in. I have a strategy in the calendar built out like that we're gonna be using for our clients, and a big part of that is 3 offers. A lot of brands, early access Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday is in December this year. It's a little different, but most brands run the same offer to do that whole situation, and like by Black Friday, like people on the email list or the SMS list have early access, and they're just burnt out by that offer. And so one of the big things we're trying to get all of our clients to do is 3 unique offers, one for early access, one for Black Friday, and then one for Cyber Monday. They don't have to be dramatically different, but they have to. It'd be best if they were different.
Yeah.
And then obviously the way we're going to send is a little different, but yeah, that's one of the biggest things is the offers there.
Yeah, like so one of the things that I kind of want to do for one of the offers for one of the sales is going to be our products, probably like a 30% off our products, the ones that we specifically make, just so that people can get a better, like, lower the barrier to entry to try one of our spices or to try one of our trail mixes or to try one of our granolas. Or we actually make some really, really nice instant meals. Caroline is a genius. You got to. I'm gonna mail you one. And when I get it done on Monday, I'm gonna mail you one of the black bean soups. So you can try this. It's all you
Awesome.
do. You literally put 4 cups of water in a pot. You just open the dump one bag, just dump it, and then 5 minutes later it's done. Stir it a little bit. Literally, it's so fast and and it's delicious. You can like so it's supposed to be like a black bean, soup, but you can
Yeah.
like I eat it with chips. I put it on rice. Like it's delicious, and you don't have to do anything. It's seasoned already. Everything is in there. You just add water, and then yeah, I'll mail you one.
Yeah, I'll send you my new address. Don't send it to the old address.
Oh yeah, that's right. You moved. I forgot
Yeah,
about that. I
you
forgot about
gifted the
that.
old people or the old house.
Yeah. Did you got the hat, right?
Yeah, I got the hat. I got the hat.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah, I should be wearing it right now, but yeah.
No, you're fine, bro. You're hilarious. No, but no,
um,
I appreciate you
yeah,
taking the time and chatting with me, dude. Like I said, it's not there's not a lot of people like us in the space. I mean, there are, but I don't know if there's the savagery that we bring.
it's a bubble,
To...
man. It's really a bubble. Like if I asked you how many other email marketing agencies you know,
None.
and most of my clients, some of our clients would even say like, I'm not sure the name of your agency, like my own agency, like the one
Oh,
that they use.
yeah,
Like they
AdSumo.
just don't care. Like they're just like,
This
I
one
just know you
results.
guys. I just
This
know
one
you guys.
results.
Yeah.
And then we see results.
Right. Yeah. But awesome, man. Yeah, check out Taylor Holiday. I also sent you that book recommendation.
Yeah, perfect.
Goaded. It literally front end offers, acquire future cash flow, and then just like we always talk about like the best post purchase strategy is actually a pre purchase strategy. Because if you have a product that has LTV built into it, like you guys do, like it's just a matter of getting your good product in the hands of as many people as possible.
Mm.
And also, and real quick, the one thing, like I think still the biggest lever we have for you guys, because we got the pop-up converting, 12%, is like aside from that cookbook, man, what's another way that we can get these people to lead to a first purchase faster? And that's the tricky situation
Yeah,
with like how do we do that profitably?
I'm working on some things in the works. I want to put together a master class, a course essentially on bread making, like the ultimate making your own bread from home to give people like everything about the different grains, how the grains mix together, which mills are the best mills to use, and then how to make different types of bread. We have a lot of bread makers that I know online, and then we have a few here in the community. One of our affiliates actually lives pretty close by, and so I just need it. Like we made a course already called Cooking Class in a Box, where if anyone goes through it, we give them a free box of food for them to do a program to just spread health evangelism actually, so they can invite people to their church, and essentially we give them an apron and a bunch of catalogs so they can hopefully spread the good news about country life and how we supply them with this food for them to do this product. But yeah, so it's there's a lot of different things in the works, if you would, and I'm always ideating on things. Like I just added express fulfillment at checkout. So 3 people have already gone through that, which added that's 25. So that's $75 extra that I've added by
Per
just
order?
$25.
Okay. Per order. That's still good though.
It's not. It's. I mean, what it does is almost like next day fulfillment or next day, so it'll be shipped the next day.
Yeah.
But that means we have to put you skip the line essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, and who knows if I see that I'm gonna assess that after a month and see like if not enough people are taking it, maybe I'll put it down to 20, um, and see if more
Yeah.
people will jump on that at that price point. But if too many people are taking it, then maybe bump it up to 30 or well, maybe keep it at 25. But then hopefully with the Country Life Plus, I really think if we can get a subscription model going, what we're thinking about doing is essentially dropping the free shipping to like 19.99, giving them possibly like a special catalog, giving them
It's gotta be 1997. It's gotta end in a 7.
yeah. Well, Mitchell actually he ends things in fives. I'm a 7 guy too, but
It's
he
seven's
everything
the proper way.
I know. I told him because it's for math's sakes. It makes it so much easier when you're doing math at the end of the day. But
Well, it's a psychological thing for buyers.
yeah,
Every course that I've ever bought is 197. $297,
I know.
$597, $1997.
I know. I use 97s too, but he's everything on our site is 1995, 95.
Okay, okay.
Everything is not. I'm like, Mitchell, it's 2 more cents. Imagine that. That's just 2 more pennies we
Imagine
get
the
per.
pennies.
You know what? I'm actually gonna talk to him and talk to him about that because at the end of the day, that is 2 more pennies.
It's not even the pennies that matter. It's the amount of people that realize that like it just looks so much better.
It really does. I don't know why he does the 5, dude.
Hold the research. There's research on that.
Yeah, I'll do that because
If you
I
show
actually
him,
didn't even
hey,
think about that.
if you show him that 26% of people, random number,
Yeah,
buy from a price ending in go to Walmart. Everything's a 7.
everything is a 7, dude.
Steal from them.
Because what if that ends up being like an extra 50,000 at the end of the year?
It probably